I'd like to think that I have always been the nice girl. I've always prided myself on being the nice girl, right? They used to call me Sweet Shayla when I was little. Not because I was sweet, because I was shy. It just kind of translated into sweetness. But I've learned as an adult, I think this is what teenagers go through when you have like a depressed teenager. I've learned as an adult that this nice world that they have made up as like when you're a child, you go to school and you see the things on the wall like integrity and perseverance. I'm not gonna say it's not true. I'm not gonna say it's not real. I'm not gonna say it's not beneficial, because it is. You do want to have integrity and you do want to persevere. But I've learned that the people that run things, the people that sit in the control room, ain't too integral. They don't really have that much integrity. So today we are going to talk about that victim era everyone's talking about, because I've learned a lot about this. So welcome to Chocolate Cake 101. I am Shayla Jade. I'm in the dungeon today, okay? But you're going to get a great conversation, so don't worry about it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. So, yes, being the nice guy or being the nice girl will save you from some situations. I walked into a situation where me, my then husband, and my brother we were like being surrounded by 12 people. Like, they were about to jump us. I'm not gonna tell you the whole story. They were going to try to jump us. We weren't even in it. We just were at the wrong place at the wrong time. But I knew one of the girls. She had been like, she was that quiet, I don't want to say loser. She was that quiet girl in school. I think she was like a few grades under me, but she was quiet. She wasn't loud at all. But I was always nice to her. And I always said, my niceness is going to pay off. I saw this girl. I was like, hey. We didn't get beat up. We didn't have to fight that night because of that. So yes, being nice does save you from things, okay? And you do want to be nice. However, the outliers in society are not afraid to be mean. And when I say a villain, I'm not talking about some Thanos, even though Thanos is needed. But I'm not talking about Thanos or Batman's Joker. We are literally talking about not being afraid to be authentic, because it is not authentic to be nice all the time. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start here. I have notes. I learned that when I have notes, things go smoother. So I have learned as an adult that sometimes, a lot of times, when you are nice, being nice will put you in last place. I know that sounds blasphemous, but let me explain. I kept saying that I was going to do a video on polarity and propaganda, and I still am. But let's just start with propaganda. Propaganda is a word that a lot of people don't really understand what's going on, but propaganda runs our world. So when I talk about the people sitting in the control room, I'm literally just talking about the people who have access to mass media, because whoever has access to mass media can get a message out to millions, billions, trillions of people in a very minute amount of time, and they can do it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so many different psychologists, esoteric advisors, philosophers have told you that something that is not true can be perceived as the truth if you embed it in someone's mind. So that's just one part of propaganda. But in this case, when I'm talking about propaganda, I'm talking about, say, like, I don't know, a Rothschild going to the government in the 1940s or 50s and telling the government that, hey, we need workers, we need followers. And so that can turn into a curriculum and a cultural belief of all these nice qualities, such as being a people pleaser, doing what the crowd wants to do. That's one of the biggest propaganda flexes, is making people feel like they are going to be outcasted. So that's exactly what Kamala Harris's campaign is. She has signed up all these celebrities, the people that you deem as cool. She has told you 10,000 times all the politicians and celebrities that back her. So her campaign wasn't even about what she can do. It was about who likes her. And if you want to be on the in crowd, you better like me too. That's exactly what Biden said, right? He said, if you're not black, if you don't vote for me. It's about making people feel like they're going to be outs. And so other things that would make people feel like they're going to be outs outed out of a society was, like I said, people pleasing. Where the hell are my notes? People pleasing, wanting outside validation from the masses, and you can do that through shame. You can do that through fear of rejection. You can here's my notes. Fear of rejection, not being humble, be nice, that nice girl thing, right? Doing what everyone else does. So everyone's going to college, everyone's doing this, everyone's getting jobs, rather than maybe starting your own business, learning things that are going to be off the grid or off the grid of what the masses are learning, and bringing a different perspective to things. Just being different, right? Nobody wants to be different. The people who are mediocre, they follow the rules, they stay quiet, they tell you to stay 6 feet apart and put a mask on, and everyone does it. And I'm not saying this is good, bad, right, or wrong. I'm just talking about how you have people who do what they're supposed to do based on the culture and society that they live in, and then you have the outliers who end up making the history books for good things or bad things. But it's not just about being an outlier making history. It's about making money. It's about being happy. And a lot of those people understand that you're going to have to not be afraid to piss people off. So when we talk about the things that mediocre people will do, or the things that mass society will do, I put a label on that as fake, because like I just said, you're not going to be nice all the time. You're not going to be polite all the time. You have to be authentic. And that's one thing that villains understand, is that they're going to be authentic. They're going to validate themselves, and they're going to get things done, and they're not going to be ashamed of how they act. Okay. So I started looking into the whole villain thing. Let's go back to my notes. I started looking into the whole villain thing and traits of a villain. And again, going back to propaganda, right? Because society wants you to believe that a villain is someone who is so mean and so hurtful and does these really bad things, and they get off on your pain. That's not necessarily what a villain is. There are various forms, a polarity or duality, right? So if I say it's raining outside, you can go outside and there might be a few drops come out of the sky. It could be raining cats and dogs. It could be a fucking storm. You know what I'm saying? It could be crazy. So you could be drenched in 2 seconds. Same with everything. There are different variations. I call that polarity. There are different variations of everything. So, what is the flex of the villain? Because you don't have to be someone who invokes pain on people. In fact, disclaimer, I'm not telling you to go be mean. I'm not telling you to go hurt someone's feelings. I'm not telling you to be a bad girl. And as a matter of fact, I still want to be nice. I still want to be kind. I still want to be kind. I still want to be a loving person. But I do like the flex of the villain. All right, so let's talk about it. So, when I talk about the fake society, when I talk about a fake society or a society that falls in line, people that fall in line, the things that I'm talking about. And by the way, I'm not saying don't do that and it's bad. This is not what this is about. Matter of fact, I've said it in several different videos. I think my discernment video mainly, I'll link it above, that none of this is about good, bad, right, or wrong. I'm simply giving you information, and you get to take it and think and decide what you want to do with that information. Okay? All right. So when I talk about the mediocre or the masses or anybody that's just falling in line, and I say that's fake, we always talk about wearing a mask. It's because a lot of these things you're doing because you were conditioned to do it, and it may or may not be how you actually feel. So for example, we act out of fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, betrayal. A lot of people who are nice, they are people pleasers. I've said it several times today. They don't have boundaries, which means I will allow you to hurt my feelings, and I will also hurt my feelings in order to put you first. So I'll go help you instead of doing what I need to do for myself. If it makes me late, if it makes me lose money, if it puts me in a bad position, that's what having no boundaries means. Putting someone else over yourself to the point where yourself starts to not trust you because you don't have respect for me. You have respect for other people outside of having respect for your own self. That's what no boundaries is. People who are humble, and if you want to be humble, you can be humble, but even to the point where they don't want to be humble. They're just quiet. They don't want to be loud. They don't want to be seen. It's a fear of being seen, a fear of being heard, because I'm reserved and I like being reserved. I like blending in the background. It may have some fears attached to it, but it is what I like. You're allowed to be what you want. This is about being authentic. But when you talk about the villains are bold. They're audacious. They're unabashed. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go down this list. They are emotionally polarized or emotionally disciplined or emotionally manipulative. So this can go, I talked about being emotionally polarized when I was talking about feeling defeated or feeling depleted, especially in the world that we live in with propaganda, trying to shift your vibrations, shift your emotions from one side to the other. Make a decision: Democrat, Republican, red, blue, Bloods, Crips, up, down, black, white, left, right. Make a decision, join a group. You can't be in the middle. You can't be on your own. You have to be one or the other. The illusion of choice, right? Being in the middle, or not having a choice, not being emotionally driven by things, is a flex. And this goes for everything, not just bad things that happen, but also good things. So if someone tells you, oh, you're so ugly, that shouldn't hurt your feelings. And when someone tells you, oh my gosh, you're so pretty, yes, you want to be thankful, but that shouldn't be the most exciting thing ever, because you are validating yourself. You don't need outside validation. You don't need anyone to come in and say this about you or do this for you. You've done it for yourself. This is about being whole and complete. I don't know if all villains are whole and complete. I have this. See my triangle? I talk a lot about heroes, victim and villains. The victim and the villain are on the same frequency. That's why they need each other. But heroes and villains have the same storyline most of the time. They just made different decisions. The hero wants to help. That's that light worker. They want to help everyone. I never want anyone to be a victim ever again. While the villain is it's not fair to say the dark worker, because as someone who's on the left-hand path or dark worker, they don't wish demise on anybody. They just are for themselves first. A villain is actually, depending on the degree, right? A villain, in the worst case scenario that they show in Hollywood, they are inflicting pain. But the villain that I'm talking about isn't intentionally, maliciously inflicting pain on anyone. They're just for themselves. Meaning, I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to be worried about fitting in. So, being emotionally polarized, being emotionally disciplined, knowing when, and manipulative. So this could be on some like 48 laws of power stuff. But yes, you can use your emotions to get what you want rather than just using them to make you feel bad. I want to do a whole build on emotional manipulation, because anytime someone says the word manipulation, people want to see it as a bad thing. But we are all manipulative, and you're supposed to be. You live this world. You live in this from the vantage point of you. You are the main character in your life, so of course you're going to want things to go your way. Manipulation only becomes a bad thing when it is to the demise of someone else. You see what I'm saying? So this is not about not being manipulative, because by nature you're going to want to manipulate the world around you. You're going to want to control the world around you. But God consciousness, God state, is about understanding. This is enlightenment, higher frequencies. Is about understanding that as I win, everyone else around me does too, and moving in a way that honors you and everyone else. The villain doesn't give a damn about honoring everyone else. However, you can move in a way that doesn't dishonor people and allows them to honor themselves. I'm not hating on you. I'm not jealous of you. I hope we all win. We can all do this. We can all do this. It's all of us. I'm not thinking about all of us, but I'm not putting us in a position to where everyone else, you know what I'm saying? I'm not putting you in a bad position because of my win. I'm not purposefully putting you in a bad position. All right, so other traits. They're audacious, they're unashamed, which again, that's validating yourself. Being unashamed, man. What is that? Shame is such a beautiful and powerful energy, because it's all about you versus you, but it will stop you from everything. The shame that you might feel for how you look or how you act or anything about you. There are people who hide themselves from the world and don't follow their dreams because of shame. And when you let go of shame, how you might feel about yourself, or shame that other people can put on you, that is so freeing. And that's why shame is so powerful and used so much in our world. Shame, shame, shame. Because you can control someone through shame, and you're not even controlling them. They're controlling themselves. It is a mental thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm one of those. I'm all about the mind and emotions. And when I get onto those subjects of how powerful these things can be, I just get so excited. That doesn't make me a villain. Anyway, not being ashamed, not being afraid to be rude, taking action, being bold. Onto my bigger list, I said they're disciplined, they don't have a fear of rejection, but all that goes back to I've already validated myself. I am validated because I validate myself. I am prioritized because I prioritize myself. I am showed up for because I show up for myself. I am committed to because I commit to myself. I am chosen because I choose myself. I don't need you to do anything for me. I have done it myself. That is what being whole and complete is about. You have filled your own cup. That's what Jesus Christ did. He filled his own cup. And when you do that, you become so powerful. When you do that, you become so powerful, because it's not always going to be all the time. It's in the moment. But if every moment you work on being whole within, you are whole. You are holy. Oh, no boundaries, being humble, not being afraid to be rude. They're comfortable outside their comfort zone. That's the main thing. I'm a victim. I'm a villain. They're comfortable outside their comfort zone. So how do you get to that place? How do you become a villain? How do you get to be more in that aspect? And why do we even want to be that way? I think of people like, hell, Donald Trump. He was a villain, right? Really still is, but he learned to tone it down during election season. I mean, you can go through a list through history and find villains on both sides. John F. Kennedy was a villain. Lucifer is a villain. Hell, Jehovah is a villain. Depending on what territory you're in. You have to realize, you guys, we run in different territories. The world that you live in, the country that you live in, depending on what gang that country is in, that's the lessons that those people who live there are going to learn, and that's going to become their thought process. So being a villain is really about getting knowledge of, being open, and being understanding that just because this is what everyone else is on, the wavelength that everyone else is on, doesn't necessarily mean that it's right or wrong. So you always gain knowledge from inside, but you also gain knowledge from outside as well. Being a villain in this age is being spiritually inclined as well, because especially in our Western culture, you are taught outside of your spirituality, and knowing yourself on a spiritual level gives you access literally to the whole universe. I talk about, I have a vlog, You're Gonna Need a God. That vlog is about understanding that the rules of society don't necessarily have to be rules that you live by, because you live on a higher hierarchy. And when you have access to the universe, you have access to all. You literally have access to the all. And you got to start playing on a bigger field. We play on such a small playground. People who are mediocre play it small. And I'm not saying you can't still be happy, or you can't have a good life. But especially in this age of AI and these little TikToking kids getting rich because they're doing outspoken stuff that the rest of us are afraid to do. That's what we're talking about. Outliers, being bold, getting the information, not being afraid to take action, not being afraid of what people are going to say about you. You can start by self-concept. And yes, I do have a video on self-concept. Self-concept is different from self-love. It is the things that you say. It's the conversations that you have in your mind. So it's not just about, I love myself. It's about knowing that you can do things. I was talking about the defeated mindset the other day, and I was thinking about, like, a few weeks ago, if two things that I didn't like happened in the day, I'd be like, screw this, I'm going to sleep. Or, man, this is not working out for me. Nah, screw that. Everything is working out for you. Let go of those negative things that you think. Stop thinking that you aren't going to be able to do something, or that you're not going to be on time, or stop thinking that things aren't going to work out for you. You don't have to be delusional if you don't want to be, but just let go of the negative talk. Be aware of what you say in your head. Research self-concept. Go on YouTube and just put in self-concept, and then also go into YouTube and look up self-concept affirmations and listen to what these people are saying in their affirmation tracks, and realize that you have been speaking against yourself for a very long time, and the things that have happened in your life are because of the way that you talk to yourself. You are the first believer of you, and most of us don't believe in ourselves. We believe that we'll be okay, but we don't believe that we'll be victorious. So self-talk is about the world around you and your experiences. That's what makes up what you're going to say in your head. And what you say and how you feel, a lot of times in our society, go hand in hand. Thoughts are electric and emotions are magnetic. And those things go together to create your reality. Another thing that I would do, that I am doing to work on this, is I've been learning to be a little rude. I've been mean lately, y'all. I cut through traffic. I've been staying in that left lane and riding it out till the lane closes. I cut some girl in line last night. I didn't know she was in line, okay? She was standing on the side, and I walked in and walked up, and they served me right away. And then after that, she was like, she started talking to me, and I didn't explain myself. I didn't say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. No, I just let it be. Because if you're going to be quiet, be prepared to be last. I just told y'all, nice people are in the back. But take some time this week. Be a little rude. You can be a nice, rude person, by the way. If it makes you uncomfortable when you're doing whatever you're doing that's going to be rude, you can be like, oh, forgive me. Or you can wave to the person that you're about to cut off. Or you can be like, I'm just running late. But don't even explain yourself. That's nice girl shit. Don't explain yourself. That's nice boy stuff. Nice man. Don't be nice. Be mean. Don't get yourself in trouble now. And if you do, don't come back here blaming me. I'm just saying. Be smart. Use yourself. Use your brain. But do some things that are bold. Be a little audacious, okay? You can do a journal. I've been thinking about working on a rejection journal, where you do things that you think you're going to get rejected for. By the way, this is a big topic, because half the time when you do things that you think you're going to get rejected for, you find out that you were never going to get rejected. And then your whole life changes. I've got some guy asking me to be his social media manager just because I put myself out there, but I didn't know he was going to be like, yeah, I would love to hire you. But hey, that's what happens when you're audacious and bold. So work on that. Just take some... You stay in your comfort zone and you don't even realize that the magic is on the outside. And I get why you stay in it, because it's comfortable, because you're scared. But you got to start taking some steps outside of your comfort zone. Because when I say the magic is outside, the magic is outside. And every successful person who's been happy with their career or their money or their love life can tell you they had to make some bold decisions, and they had to get outside their comfort zone. In love, a lot of you guys put up boundaries with love. You're afraid to get emotional or connected to someone. But then you watch all those movies where, the prince is being all romantic and stuff. Learn to let people in. Be romantic. Be bold. I want to sing Gracie's Corner right now. You can be brave, okay? I don't really feel like giving you guys that much of a pep talk anymore. I think we've had a good conversation. I'm looking at my notes. So check out 31 Ways to Flow. It is a free ebook. It's down in my Stan store. The link will be below. 31 Ways to Flow is about stabilizing your vagus nerve. These are 31 things that you can do of different time. Some people don't have time, but different variations that will help you with your confidence, with your emotional stability, with your self-confidence concept, with your life. All this, everything that I talk about, you guys, I talk about culture and I talk about the universe. I don't know if you've realized right now, it's the same thing. They play into each other. That's why they're both so important to me. But check out the book. I'm going to be talking a lot about this book because I'm going to go through each of these ways. And there's more than 31 ways in there, by the way. I always give you more. Anyway, thank you for watching. Share this with someone that you think will find value in it. Please, 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 please understand, you guys. This is a big conversation. So other people are talking about it. You can go check it out. This is for you, not for me. So if you don't, like I said, this is for you, not for me. I'm just trying to put you on some game. My love is your love. Peace.